Tonight, I am very excited to welcome our guest, who is a powerhouse in the detailing world, the voice behind the Attention to Details YouTube channel, and someone who's been inspiring detailers with honest reviews, tutorials, and that no-nonsense Pennsylvania hustle. Tonight, I welcome Chelsea Longbaugh. She sits with me as we talk real talk about detailing, about life, about what it means to be a content creator, and about all things passion and detailing related. Let's welcome Chelsea. Hello. And we are here.
Hi, guys.
Thank you, Chelsea, for being on my podcast. I know you have your own and you are super busy with work and family and your channel, so I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me tonight.
I've been looking forward to this. I'm definitely going to have you come over to my channel. I think we wanted to do like an ADHD and detailing episode where we just, and maybe even have a panel of people come on to discuss like what are some of the struggles that they deal with and how do they deal with them. So
I think that would be a good show. It's something people don't talk about enough, but I know that people struggle with. And there's a lot of people that it's kind of come up through chats and through comments like, oh, I have ADHD too, or oh, I struggle with that too. And you don't realize it until
there's like a type, I think, within detailers. We're all a little type A, we're a little controlling. Yeah. And then we're all a little OCD. But I think underneath all of that is a little bit of ADHD, and that's where a lot of us have that hyper focus and that when we find something we're passionate about and we hyper focus on it, we can get really good at it. And that's why there is so much, I think, pun intended, attention to details. Yeah. Because of the way that God has made our brains, you know, and it's not that we're broken. We just have to find ways to work around some of the hiccups or the hurdles that we have because of it. But I if you want, after this, let's set that episode up because I think that would be a fun conversation to have. But
let's do it.
Thank you for having me on the show. I've been looking forward to this. You and I are one of the rarities within the detailing industry, being a female, and it's always I think it's just good to support one another, and we've found a camaraderie, and we're both moms. We have a ton in common. So
we do.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yes. And I do appreciate you. Your channel is one that is so educational. You do such a good job. You are so comfortable in front of the camera. I really do watch your videos and I think to myself, like, gosh, she makes it look so easy.
It wasn't always like that.
So you're at 30. What are you at? 30K now, right?
I'm close to 31. Yep. I'm closer to 31 than I am to 30. So we're just going to be positive and say we're almost at 31.
31, because why not, right? Yeah. And growing. So congratulations on that, because that happened recently, didn't it?
The 30,000. Yeah, it happened about maybe a month and a half ago.
So how did that feel?
Honestly, every milestone, I like, the 5,000s, every 5, 10, 15, 20. It feels kind of surreal. When I started with the YouTube channel, I didn't think anyone would actually be interested. I didn't think many people would watch. If anything, it was a way for me to prove my worth to my customers, because I had early on with my business, a lot of people, it felt like, and maybe I was reading into things. I'm known to do that, but it felt like they were underestimating my capabilities and like, really, you can do that? And I'm like, you don't have to have a specific body part in order to be good at this. Yeah. Like you just need a brain and a heart and you don't even need 2 hands. Like I've seen detailers do this with 0 hands or, 1 hand. So it was a way for me to just kind of educate my customers on what I was capable of doing and helping them get the most out of the investment that they were making. And within, you have to hit a certain milestone to become monetized. I think within the first 6 months, you have to reach like 4,000 hours watched and like 1,000 subscribers. Yes. I think I hit that within 2 months and I was like, what? So like that first milestone just to become monetized, I was like, wow, okay. Yeah. And it is, I would never say that I've been viral, or I've had rapid growth. I mean, you look at channels out there like DIY Detail, they started their channel last year.
Yeah.
Year and a half ago, and within a year, over 125,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
There is apparently, I don't know what it is, but there is apparently a formula for success on YouTube.
Yeah.
And
I think Ivan knows it.
Ivan knows it.
He knows it.
Ivan has the time to commit to it.
Yeah.
And that's been, I think, my struggle, that having a business, having a family, and prioritizing my kids and sports and taking an easier summer break, or maybe spending Christmas with my family, taking those breaks, not feeding the monster algorithm that's out there. Because it does feel like a monster sometimes. It just takes and takes and doesn't really ever give you anything bad, it feels. But yeah, it definitely, every milestone is something that I give God the glory. I didn't ever anticipate that the channel would be what it is. I don't know what the future of the channel looks like. Every day I just kind of like, okay, God, like, what are you going to do with this channel? And I've surrendered it to him. Like, what happens, happens. Yeah. I've had to stop stressing over it. I had Jessica Tran on my show, several months back.
Yes, that was a great show. She's awesome, by the way. I mean,
fantastic. That super chill. Love her.
Yeah.
She has over like 3 million subscribers on TikTok. And I was like, do you ever like watch your numbers? And she's like, nah. She's like, I put the video out there and I move on. And I'm like,
yeah.
And my husband actually was watching that episode and he was so impressed with her. And he's like, you need to do that.
Yeah.
He's like, you need to just put the video out there and not obsess over the numbers, not upset. And I'm like, you know what? And it's hard because it is a business and you've invested.
Yeah.
I mean, you have your channel, and how many are you at now?
Oh, I'm still small, Chelsea. You're
not still small. Don't ever say still small.
I'm still small. I think I'm almost at 1,300.
It needs to be more because you make fantastic content.
Thank you for that. It's gotten better. Trust me, it's gotten better. I still go back and look at my very first videos and I'm like, I cannot believe I put this out there. So it's gotten better, but consistency is a problem for me. And I know that is a part of what keeps the algorithm going on your channel. And I haven't quite figured out how to master that because like you're saying, there's just so much going on teaching, and that is a beast in itself. 4 kids is a beast in itself. Now my son has started football. So every Saturday for this entire summer, we have football games and we have practice. So I'm not using that as an excuse. It's just something that I have to figure out. How do I do this? So I've been putting out more shorts lately, and I don't know if that's going to kill me or not. They've done okay.
Monetization wise, no, it won't. But views and subscribers, it does have a bigger reach.
I just feel like if I can keep something on my channel consistently, and so right now I have found that shorts are just the easiest to get out because, so I've done like 3 in the last week and a half, I think. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm going to do a long form when I can, and then just continue to keep shorts going. And again, I can't obsess over it because the situation is the situation. I've just got to do what I can with it. So, but you are pushing out content like crazy lately.
I don't feel like I am, or I'm not as much as I want. In my mind, I feel like there's this tempo that I want to hit, and I'm always just behind. And it's frustrating. I mean, I will get spurts where, like, if I have the day off, I'm like, all right. Like, I've actually taken 1 day off a week from detailing just to edit. That's how, and the thing is, like, I'm not even making that much on YouTube. Everyone thinks 30,000 or so. I might make peek behind the curtain. I might make anywhere from 400 to 600 a month from YouTube commission.
But I mean,
it is nice, but how many hours am I adding to a detail? And then having to edit that footage, that if I were to do one detail, I could make that money, even the day that I take off. So it is a gamble. Like, you don't know if it's going to actually pay off. And, I think what hooked me is early on, I was friends with Brian Spittler or Scott Bly, or, had these people that were kind of encouraging me to do the YouTube thing. I remember one of them showing me 1 month paycheck, and it was $7,000. and they were maybe at like 100,000 subscribers. Now, mind you, you could have a ton of subscribers, but if you're not consistently feeding it and getting views, you know, it's not going to generate. So, but I saw that 1 month paycheck and I was like, holy cow. Can you imagine that for 12 months? That's life-changing money.
It is.
I mean, my husband has his own HVAC business. I have my detailing. I'm maybe doing anywhere from 2 to 4 details a week. I some weeks make more than my husband does having an HVAC business. In fact, in times when he is slow, my business keeps us afloat.
Yeah.
So like the one day that I'm taking off to edit, I'm like, that's like reliable, solid income. So there have been times that I'm like, is this worth continuing? You know, when I have braces, my kids are both in like travel soccer, which that's not cheap, guys.
Yeah, no, sports in general. I'll tell you that.
Both of them. I mean, my kids are amazing. Like they're so good at soccer, so good at basketball. And I want to be able to do all these things for them. And I hate to say it, like we live in a wealthier school district in Lancaster. So a lot of their friends, you know, their parents are doctors or in IT or that work for the health system and stuff. Yeah. And they can go and do all these things. And my kids are like, hey. And I'm like, nope. Like, no, you know, and not saying that we live a deprived life. We don't. God has blessed us. But there are days like when you see, that's why it's just really hard when you look outside of yourself and you see what others have. And it starts to become this whole comparison game. Yeah. And I don't like it. It's something that I'm really trying to work on, just having a spirit of gratefulness, a spirit of contentfulness. It's a daily struggle. Yeah. You know, even when you see other shops, other detailers bringing in, you know, thousands upon thousands of dollars with revenue. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. I'm where I'm at. It's okay. Yeah. God is providing and great for them. That's great for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, that's the thing about detailing. Like we all have different paths to success. Yeah. It doesn't have to look identical from one detail to the next. You can be a mom detailing from home, supplementing income. I can be, you know, a mom that if I wanted to open a shop, I could, but I really don't want to deal with the stress of employees and rent and all of that. You know, and I see some of these mobile detailers and they're killing it. Adam Hinman, do you follow him at all?
I do. Yeah.
Detailers of Sarasota. I mean, that guy's crushing it right now. I'm actually going to have him on my show in a couple weeks. And like, I'm super excited to like talk to him about like how bold and a little risky some of the moves that he's making, but it's paying off dividends for him. Yeah. So yeah, it's just, that was a really long-winded answer with, that was a very big tangent I went on, but.
Okay. So, I mean, thinking about all of the, well, I guess obstacles, maybe the word, what keeps you passionate? What keeps you going in this industry? Is it just the love for detailing? Is it a goal that you're trying to reach? What keeps you going for the gold?
It's a good question. I think I ask myself that sometimes, especially when I'm working on a really bad car. Like, why am I still doing this? I hate this car. There are some details that I fall out of love with detailing. I'll be honest. I really, I enjoy the before and afters, that satisfaction of the transformation. I think a lot of us, that's why we do it. Yeah. I do enjoy helping my customers and helping them fall back in love with their vehicles, feeling comfortable in their vehicles. Sometimes it's just nice to know what I'm capable of doing. Like, pardon my language, but I'm like, damn, I did that. Like, that felt good. Yeah. Like, that thing was like hammered. Yeah. I have a 96 Corvette coming up. It's in rough condition. And the guy pulled up and he wanted me to give him a quote. And I'm like, we're like $1,000 to $1,200. Like for me to, he just wants to get it ready to sell. Like the interior, it's rough. The exterior, he's got cracked paint. He's got fiberglass, you know, hood, paint peeling. The engine is literally cobwebs and like pine needles and stuff. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, this is going to be a lot of work. Yeah. And there's a part of me that's like, please say no to this price. Yeah. But at the same time, in my head, there's this weird thing that says challenge accepted. Yes. You know, and I'm like, let's do this. I want to know what I'm capable of. And I think that's what keeps me going. It's just being able to prove what I can do. Yeah. Certain situations, I get a little like, we're chartering into, you know, or we're going into uncharted territory. And I'm like, okay, God, protect me. Yeah. But it's those situations that I'm just like, okay, I wouldn't say, like, when I first started detailing, it was a means to an end. It was a way to help supplement the income from home without putting my kids into daycare. I couldn't afford daycare. And I was doing this when Mackenzie was 2 in our carport. We didn't even have a garage to work out of. And I honestly don't remember much of those early years because I think I was just so tired. I mean, as a new mom, you don't remember much as your kids as a toddler because you're just like,
you're on constant. Yes.
But like, I'm kind of thankful that I had YouTube to chronicle my history or my story with detailing, because otherwise I really wouldn't remember too much of it because it was just the grind. It was just get the details done, get my son to preschool, pick him up 2 hours later, deal with Mackenzie in nap times, vacuum, do all these things in between. Thank God I didn't really have a ton of social media that I was focusing on at that time because I just didn't have the time to commit to it. Yeah. But as far as passion, I think I've really enjoyed, oddly enough, I was homeschooled and I was never really that good at science because like doing it from home, it was kind of limited. But I've always been very intrigued with the science behind detailing and understanding how they work, why they work. Yeah. I mean, we're talking layman's terms here. Yeah. When Reggie came on my show and he's like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
the technicality.
I've had to still Google words like emulsifiers and all those things. I'm like, is it what?
Yeah. I've done that plenty of times. ChatGPT. What does this mean exactly?
Yeah. There are times that I'm really intrigued by understanding how things are made, getting to know the companies, getting to know their heart and their passion behind the products. And I think it's just, you roll all of those into one, it's just kept me going. It's kept it fresh. I was never the type that enjoyed the same thing day in and day out. When I worked as an admin assistant, the only thing that I enjoyed about that was that it was admin assistant, but it was also housekeeping supervisor. So I had to learn about the chemicals. I had to train all of the student workers. I had to oversee all the buildings, and every day it was something different. And I think I enjoy that about detailing, that every vehicle, it's a new challenge. Yeah. I think with my ADHD, it keeps me still falling in love with it and focused on that next thing. If I had to do the same car every day and day out, like dealership work, I can never do. Yeah. Just washing a car day and I'll be like, ugh.
Yeah. Monotonous. So,
yeah. It's fun. It's constantly changing. The products are constantly changing, learning about new products. So yeah. Yeah.
I like that. I mean, how long have you been detailing now? 7? Is it 7 years?
8 years.
8 years. 8 years. Have you, you've been in the game for a while now. Have you seen a huge shift in the industry, and do you like where it's going?
We could talk about PPF. We could talk about tint, how they are like the new ceramic coatings. I feel like they have a limited growth capability though, because of the cost. Now, tint, maybe not. I think most people could afford tint, but PPF, it's pretty expensive still at this point until someone can find a cheaper way to provide that and apply it to a customer's vehicle. But I don't think detailers want that because it does kind of put them in the upper echelon category. Ceramic coatings were, I feel like they've become the new sealant. Yeah. Everyone wants them. Everyone thinks they can apply them. There's still a lot that you can screw up. Yeah. But I feel like within the industry, since I started to now, definitely there's less waxes, there's more durability, more chemical resistance. But I still feel like across the board, there's still a little bit of a lack of a education for the average consumer. Yeah. There's people like us who are very passionate about detailing, and maybe I think they're trying to get that average consumer to kind of our level where you become passionate about it. Wow. But I still see a lot of these bigger brands, and I don't feel like they're really educating their customer base as well as they could to understand their products. And sometimes it's the customer's fault that they're not reading the instructions, or watching the videos. Yeah. But with the day and age that we have with social media, there should be more videos. There should be more
how-tos.
Yeah. You know, when you've got, you know, companies like Turtle Wax and Meguiar's and Adams and Armor All, like all of these guys are competing for that like retail world within the ceramic world. There's a lot that can go wrong with their products if you don't know what to do or you're using it improperly. And I still see a lot of people saying to me, oh, I put a ceramic coating on my vehicle. And I'm like, oh yeah, which one? And they'll show me a bottle and it's like a paint sealant or, you know, a ceramic detailer.
Yeah.
And that's where I think I get frustrated sometimes because then the customer is like, you're not doing anything significant because I could do that. And I'm like, no, it's a completely different product, completely different application. Yeah. And I think sometimes maybe that's the intent behind the marketing to confuse the customer by using that buzzword of ceramic. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think that does get thrown around quite often. And I do totally agree. I know actually several people that I've talked to who think a sealant is an actual coating. And there are many detailers, especially in my area, who advertise for ceramic. And it is just a sealant that they're applying and not an actual coating.
Well, and when you have dealerships doing that too, though.
Yeah, they do. Yes.
They're doing a sealant. And I'm like, you know, and then
is insane for that.
Don't even get me started.
I'm like, you know, so that has been a little bit of a cringe moment for me. Like, okay, first of all, let's have a conversation here, because although, yes, it does seal your paint, the longevity that they're telling you you're going to get, it's not there.
Yeah.
This is what a ceramic coating, you know, and then it's like, oh, I had no idea. Well, yeah. So for me, I just think that that's kind of, I don't know. And it'll be interesting. I would love to hear or to, you know, see in the comments after this is posted what other people think, because, you know, is that how it should be marketed when you are especially a mobile detailer, that you are, you know, you have the ceramic coatings, but you're only putting a sealant? Is that, I don't know,
Yeah, because when you've got now for protection, you have your waxes, you have your sealants, you have your ceramic sealants, you have your ceramic spray coatings, then you have your ceramic coatings, then you have your professional grade ceramic coatings, you know, because even between coatings, we have retail, prosumer, professional grade. It can get confusing trying to like decipher what, and I just feel like there needs to be a simpler way to explain these products. And I don't know if it's intentional that way to confuse them. Yeah. But it makes our job a little bit harder, because then I think customers don't really understand why it is what we do and why we charge what we do. Yeah. And you're having to just really focus on education. And that's the intent behind my channel. Yeah. I'm really just trying to educate my customers. I make videos at the level of my customers. I you know, originally when I started my channel, you know, you have to figure out who your market is. Yeah. And I thought my market was going to be other professional detailers like me. But after reading the comments and realizing, okay, I'm probably more in the enthusiast world. And those people, they're just tipping their toes into the water of detailing. They're just like figuring out, maybe it's their first car, or they just really enjoy keeping a clean car on the weekends, you know? So trying to, you know, kind of keep it simple, stupid. And I don't try to reach above their heads with a lot of the content. And it can be a lot of repetition, but sometimes that's the only way that people learn is through repetition.
Yeah, I agree.
That's how my kids learn, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's how humans learn in general, right? So no, that makes sense. Do you find yourself trying to stay, what's the word I'm looking for? Like current,
relevant,
and products, and relevant. Thank you. Or are you okay with staying in your own niche and not worrying about the next latest and greatest thing, especially when it comes to, you know, detailing cars and putting, you know, products that are trending right now? Or are you comfortable with using what you know and what you love without having to, you know, fall into the hype of what's
I think it's a little both and. I have certain brands, certain products that, let's say I'm not doing content and I want to get quick results, or maybe I need a lot of that product because it's a really bad car.
Yeah.
You know, I have certain chemicals that I know are affordable, that work really well, that I'm going to reach for every detail.
Yeah.
I think obviously when you create content, you know, it's how many times can you make cleaning a wheel exciting? And if I'm using the same products over and over and over again, I will say this. So there's this lady I watch on YouTube. I don't know if you've ever seen her. I can't even say her name right, like Anna Katakanaria or whatever. She cleans houses. She's some Swedish, and I'm probably butchered her name, but she's like some Swedish or Russian or some weird, you know, accent. She goes into people's houses that we're talking straight up like a match and some gasoline is what's called for this situation. And she cleans them all with Scrub Daddy and with like, there's some pink cleaner that she uses.
Okay.
Same cleaners because she's sponsored. And I mean, I watch her all the time because it's just fantastic, but they're like disaster details. And half the time I'm like, you know, watching these things. I'm not necessarily doing disaster details where every video is like, oh, cool. What's she going to do here? I work on a lot of daily drivers. So I think to keep it fresh, to keep it fun and interesting, I do try to use different products.
Yeah.
To that end, I think sometimes there is a pressure to be the first to try a product because you know there's going to be higher views.
Yeah.
I used to think that I had to respond to that. And there were a few that I did, but I actually don't like doing that now because you can't really give a good, fair assessment of a product if you've only used it once.
Yeah.
Unless I'm saying to you, I'm going to share with you guys what it's like using this product for the first time.
First experience.
Yeah. And I mean, I've done a ton of those, you know, ceramic coatings. I'm going to share with you my first experience. Now, my first to my 10th, it's going to be completely different because I've learned a lot along the way. And so I do a lot of those videos. I've been using certain coatings for years. I have ones that my customers, that's the one that they want. Yeah. So I can still share those, but I don't get a lot of views on those ones because, you know, it's like, okay, we've seen another McKee's 37 graphene coating, you know, unless they want to see maybe some of the hurdles that I'm dealing with along the way. So I think it's hard because I do want to stay relevant, but I've learned, like, you know, let's say the new Ryobi pressure washer came out. Everyone was creating content. I actually made a video on the pressure washer and
you got one?
I got one. I literally went out the week it came out and I filmed a comparison video with my 1900.
Watch it.
I didn't air it yet.
Oh, okay. I was thinking I haven't seen anything.
I didn't, and I kind of missed that window. And I was like, yeah, you know, I don't know if I'll put it out now. But Jamie was saying to me, he's like, people still want to know about your experience. And I'm like, okay, that's something to consider. But like, I had issues with it at first.
Oh,
and so I didn't want to blast. My issues weren't with the pressure washer.
Oh.
So someone, I don't know who, I have an idea. I think it was one of my customers, sent me a spot-free rinse system as a gift. It was like a $450, I think, off of Amazon Spot. It just like showed up at my house. There was no name, no address. My husband's like,
I've mentioned this before.
Yeah, my husband's like, what did you order? And I'm like, I swear this wasn't me this time. But I didn't know how to use it. I didn't even research a spot-free rinse system. So the first time that I hooked it up was to the new Ryobi pressure washer. And it was like surging on me. And I didn't know how to properly set it up. So then I did the video. I was like, do I show that the Ryobi was because that's going to not put it in a good light. But it wasn't that. It was the spot-free rinse system. And I just had to figure out how to set it up, get the air out of the lines. And now I use it. Now it works wonderful. But then I also was having issues with my hose leaking. It wasn't working right. So then I was using the Ryobi, their water line and their sprayer. Actually works pretty fantastic. Love it. Wouldn't use it in the long term, but for someone who's washing their cars like once a week or so.
Or just starting. I mean.
Yeah, perfect. But I've since then, you know, bought a new hose. I use my spray gun and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, that's a lot to put in a video. Like it's all over the place. So I'm like, okay, how do I do that well and not confuse the viewer? So like there's certain things like that. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that when it comes to trends and getting content out first? Do you feel that push?
Yes. Do I always make it?
Have the time to do it?
No. No.
It's like Black Friday. It feels like you're like being pushed from behind,
you know,
to like get to the thing fastest. And I'm like, just go, guys, just get it. I don't care. It's not
worth it. To be honest with you, then, you know, I I'll ship or buy the product, to be shipped. I get it. And then I see somebody else put out the video and I'm like, well, crap. Like, there it goes. Is it? And like you're saying, is it still worth it? And I guess it is. I think though that is my problem. I get too caught up on what everybody else is doing, and I need to stop that. Now,
I don't even watch other people's channels anymore.
And
I don't.
I don't know if it's not necessarily a comparison. I think it's the fact that I'm still a newer channel. And I'm learning. I want to learn, like, if this channel is blowing up, what are they doing? You know what? It's more of an educational thing, but then I'm also paying too much attention to, the products they're using. And I don't know. I get too caught up in that technicality where I really have kind of started pondering the fact that I just need to do me and not worry. Because I think that really with my ADHD, I get so fixated. And then I just get overwhelmed and okay, I have to go inside and just step away from it now because my brain is just all over the place. I can't even focus. Does that make sense?
Totally. And I struggled with that early on, because you do want to stay relevant. You want to stay up to date with trends and things like that. And that's probably the thing I don't like about it the most.
Yeah.
When I stopped watching other YouTubers and seeing all those things and just did my job. Yeah. And shared my experience with the products. Like I did one on Yum Cars products the other day.
Okay, I just watched that yesterday.
I didn't buy the whole lineup. I don't know how some of these people have the money to start. Like I do get products sent to me for free, which is I'm thankful for.
Yeah.
Probably half of what's on my shelves has just been sent to me from companies. Sometimes I don't even reach out to them. A box shows up and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, there's no guarantee you're going to get content made because I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
But like, there are certain ones that I'm intrigued by.
Yeah.
I will buy them. Thankfully, I have discount codes, A2D10, if anyone wants to save 10% off. But there were certain limitations that I had with the products, and people were like, oh, you should have tried citrus and then the wheel thing. And I'm like, okay, but that's the whole lineup. And I specifically wanted to see if these products work, so if I need to buy another product to make that product work, that's where I'm like, okay. But I mean, that's where sometimes I get frustrated with these trends because people tell you how amazing a product is. And I'm like, but my results weren't the same as yours. Or if I have to buy like the whole lineup in order to, that's great. And now you can share your experience in the comment section. I've shared my experience with these products. I do have citrus coming. I do have their undressed coming. I ordered it. I think I have like
plastic. Just so you know.
I'm so easily influenced. It's almost ironic.
Yum.
Literally, my viewers are influencing me. I'm like, well, gosh darn it. I literally have 4 orders from Thor coming in like 2 days.
I do too. I just got the notification yesterday. I think they was like, boom, boom, boom. They're all coming. I'm like, yay.
Yeah. They caught up from their sales, but
did you order any of the Yum, like the accessories that just came, the wheel woolies or any of the wash mitts?
No, I am drowning in wheel brushes. I'm drowning in wash mitts. And to me, whether I get one brand or another, they all like accessories are one of those things that I don't buy unless my other one broke.
Yeah.
Then I have very limited space in my garage. I'm a little bit of a hoarder, a little bit. I mean, even if people send me something for free, I'm like, I might use it. Let's just keep it. Thank God for the Pay It Forward campaign from Phoenix COD, because that's what kind of pushes me to be like offload stuff that I know I'm not going to finish. My once a year purge, I'm like, Aaron, come pick this up.
I have a box going already, ready to be.
Yeah, I'm already like, okay, there's certain things. People will send me codings that I'm just like, I'm not going to get around to doing it, or I get equipment sent to me, or, different things. So trends are hard. And I think, I've had a lot of people on my podcast and I asked them, what do you think is one thing that needs to change in the industry? And overwhelmingly, like 95% all say, get past that flashy thing syndrome where we got to buy the newest product, the hottest product on the market. That's why I started a YouTube channel, because I got so easily influenced. I bought all the things that people said I should buy from YouTube, and I had too many products. I was like, well, I might as well review them.
Yeah.
Like, justify the expense. And then if I get some commission from it, that will just feed the monster of just buying more. It's an addiction. It really is an addiction. I think buying all of these detailing products, and that is probably one thing that I need to work on. I feel like I'm not a part of the solution. I'm a part of the problem sometimes. And so I take I hate this word, influencer role very seriously, that I don't tell people go buy this unless it is like something that I'm like, okay, this is unique. This is cool. This is going to make your life easier. Like, typically I'm like, if you guys are looking for a product like this, use these links. Like, otherwise I'm just sharing my experience, but I'm not going to go out and tell people go buy it, because I think there's a little bit too much of that going on in this industry. Yeah.
I often joke about the whole Detailers Anonymous thing, and I'll be the first to sign up because, hi, my name is Kristi, and
I don't even think it needs to be anonymous. We just need to be support.
Not anymore. I blame Pan. Pan, if you're watching, I blame Pan. Watching his videos, he was always, just reviewing all of these great products, and then his end of the year, best awards, and I just had to have first place in every category because obviously,
Mine was Brian Spittler, because he always took it from to a deep level, and he would have these rankings where he would say, this is top quality, this is mid.
Yeah.
So mine was Brian Spittler. Mine was mostly polishes, and that's why, because all he did was paint correction.
I did start with, what I could find at Walmart, because I did start during COVID, so Walmart and Amazon were kind of my friends. And then, Co was like the first full line that I ever purchased, and CarPro. And that was due to Pan's influence. So thank you, Pan, because actually those were great. They are great still. Not many people talk about CarPro anymore. Are you a fan? Do you use CarPro? Have you used?
I've used a few of their products. Their CarPro Pearl is what I put on every customer's tire 1-to-1. Their CarPro tire cleaner, fantastic. Is it Cleanse, their leather cleaner? That's actually whatever their leather cleaner is. It works really well. Reset, T-Scale, love them.
Great.
Their ceramic coatings I have on my vehicle.
Their ceramics.
I struggled a little bit, but I mean, for the most part, actually, no, I don't think I'm thinking C Quartz. That's what I'm thinking. Isn't it? That's CarPro, isn't it?
I think so.
CarPro D Quartz and CarPro C Quartz. Okay. Yeah. I gaslight myself sometimes. I'm like, there's too many. I get asked that question a lot. Like, how do you keep all the products straight? And I'm like, good question. Like, I don't, apparently.
So what has been a product lately? Let's just talk about recently that has blown you away. Have you used anything recently that was like, wow, I need to share this? Or maybe not even recently, just that you can think of one or two products that you are like, you know what, you need to have this in your arsenal.
I'll be honest, I've fallen in love with combining Phoenix EOD Typhon with the BioBombs mini tabs.
Yeah, I have not tried that yet, but I think I need to.
I actually really love the smell of it. It's like a light pool scent when you do the mini, like the BioBomb mini within it, but it just smells so clean. It just smells so clean. I use that for a lot of my customers' interiors. Sometimes their seats, I'll even just kind of mist it on just to help go after odors. We actually just finished soccer season here, and I'm getting ready to go do my interior with that because there's just a funk from their socks, from their shoes, and I'm like, so I've really been enjoying that. I recently tried a lot of the Mild Deep products because I have a podcast that I'm going to be doing with them in a few weeks. And I wanted to put in some like B-roll in between the video, just kind of showing the products. And to be honest, their purple, their wheel cleaner, even like a lot of their products, I've been very impressed with.
Yeah.
The only one I think I struggled with was their foam ceramic sealant.
Oh, okay.
But apparently I was using it wrong. Not necessarily using it wrong, but like you have to apply it. rinse it, dry it, and then the next time, and even if you like polish it or whatever, but the next time your vehicle gets rained, it's like it takes years to cure. So I don't know. We got to revisit that because I didn't see that when I used it. But I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of new products out there. I know I get sent a lot of stuff recently. I think honestly, the biggest game changer for me was a compressor and a blowout tool. I don't know why I waited so long to get one. The general, I think it's General Twister pneumatic blowout tool that Thor sells has been fantastic for me. I even tried the Rag Company, their Ultra Air Blaster, the Tornador Mini, and the one at Thor's website outperforms them with my compressor. Yeah. Do you have one?
I do.
You're so cool. She's like, I mean, I was with it. Apparently, I was really late to the show with that.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I love having a compressor. Sometimes I hate using it. It's just such a process sometimes. There are sometimes that I want to just do things so quickly without having to turn on all of these, different machines. And I don't do a ton of interiors. I do more exterior. But when I do, it's a must. It's an absolute must. I don't know how you went so long without having a blowout tool because it is life-changing.
That's why my forearm is that big. Because I vacuumed for 3-4 hours some vehicles.
I hate vacuuming. And I've said this several times, even in my own home, of course I vacuum, but I would rather do laundry for 12 hours on end and wash dishes for 4 days than vacuum. I don't know what it is about vacuuming. So when I have to vacuum a car, I'm like, this sucks. So I mean, I caught on to the blowout tool early on because
the only thing that sucks about interiors are pine needles. I absolutely hate pine needles.
What about sand? That's I
will take sand over pine needles any day because I can at least vibrate and get that up. I actually have a video. I need to edit it. It was so diabolical. I swear to God, sand was coming from the depths of hell.
I'm telling you, I've had those.
It just
won't go away.
Coming. Actually, did I edit that one? I think I might have edited that one. I got to go back. I don't even know what videos I have out anymore. I have footage from 2 years ago that I need to edit. Yeah. I'm that far behind. It's really bad. I have some great content coming.
Let's take a minute for the product of the week. How many people who watch our podcast or watch podcasts in general on detailing are content creators?
I think a lot are trying to become.
Or trying to be, right?
It's so easy nowadays.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like if you want to have a detailing business, you have to be on social media of some sort nowadays.
Yeah, I agree.
It's the only way to set yourself apart. Whether you want to do that in short format, or short form content, or do TikTok.
Yeah.
And you're going to get a different customer based on, I think, the social media platform that you go with. TikTok is like straight up entertainment. Even Jess said she doesn't get a ton of business from customers from TikTok, but she does get sponsored ads.
Yeah.
But, if you go even Instagram or Facebook Shorts, things like that, again, that's more education or entertainment versus education. YouTube long format is where I've actually generated the most customers and the most commission from, ad revenue.
Yeah.
Shorts really don't give you much when it comes to commission, but they do have a further reach with customer view.
Yeah. It's a crapshoot, to be honest with you.
Why do we do it? Why do you do it, Kristi?
But I am going to be 43 years old this year. Okay.
I'll be 41.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
Actually, no, I'm already 41. Holy crap, I'm going to be 42. Oh, God.
Once you get past 40, you kind of forget, wait a minute. I've done that so many times.
I'm like, I was born in 84. That means I'm 41.
Done the career thing. I am actually going back to school to get my admin credentials. So this has been kind of a struggle as well. But, I have the career, I have the home, I have the kids. Like for a while, I was kind of feeling like, what else can I do? Like I want another sense of accomplishment in my life. If that resonates with anyone, I'm not sure. And so for me, when I'm detailing, I get a sense of accomplishment. And then when I create videos and I put something out, I then also feel like I'm doing something.
Did you ever?
No, I don't know.
Did you ever enjoy like photography or drawing?
Oh, I love to draw. I love all of that. I'm a very artistic and creative person.
I am too.
Putting myself in front of a camera, though, has been a mission.
I can totally resonate with that. I struggle big time with confidence in what I sound like, what I look like, how I'm coming across to people. I struggle with my weight and after I hit 40, which I just did the math, I'll be 41. I am 40. I was like, wait, what? I was born in 84, 25. I forget what year we're in. Yeah. I still think we're in 24. No, I struggle with all of those things. And, I'll record myself and look back and I'm like, ooh, we're going to crop that part out. Or, after I hit 40, things are just changing very rapidly with my body that I have a lot of friends that they're super healthy. They're super fit. And I look at them and I'm like, I could totally play the comparison game. And you never come out really feeling good about yourself after that. And I'm like, you know what? This body has given birth to 2 children. This body has started a detailing business and kept it thriving for 8 years and grown it. Yeah. And it's done remarkable things. Give it grace. Yeah. Give it some love. And so I've had to just be like, you know what? It could be worse. It could be worse. Yeah. It's not what my mind thinks is going to be. And a lot of guys, I don't know if they resonate or struggle with that. I had to intentionally choose. I wanted it to be about what I'm saying. Yeah. It's fun. It's fun to see what technology, and I hate to say it, AI can do to make things more entertaining. But there's a ton that AI can do. I mean, as business owners, if you are not capitalizing upon those things, I have learned you're going to be left behind. Yeah. It's scary. Yeah. But it's true.
Yeah. There is a huge shift I feel happening right now, just in the world in general, in terms of AI. So I really feel like you can either embrace it and learn how to implement it and how to use it to the best of your ability, where it's efficient and effective in whatever you're using it for, or you can shy away from it. But I believe if you shy away from it, you are not going to stay kind of on par with where things are headed, if that makes sense. I don't know.
You're right. It kind of scares me though. Like my son, he's really big in technology. He asked ChatGPT, and I don't know if he was exaggerating. He asked GPT about Chelsea Longabaugh. Who is Chelsea Longabaugh? And it said, she's a female detailer. I mean, I'm paraphrasing. It had my husband's name. It knew my daughter's name. Yep. It discussed the video that I had her in where I taught her polishing years ago, and how I made the comment that she couldn't learn detailing until she learned how to clean her closet out. And he was like, the only thing it didn't know was my name, Mom. And he's like, so I told ChatGPT that her son's name is Bartholomew. And I'm like, why would you do that? But it's like, it's a little scary because like what you put out there, it never comes back.
Well, and honestly, and what you put out there, and I try to tell my kids this all the time, like the whole cyberspace world, like that's a real thing. Mm-hmm. Like things that you put out on the internet stay there. Even though you don't see it, it will find it. Like it will, you know what I mean? So yeah, ChatGPT is insane, but I use it like crazy, to be honest with you.
Just don't ask it to make a AI picture of yourself. It's never flattering.
I've tried that. Let me tell you.
I was like, why every time?
Oh, heck no. I mean, I literally, in fact, I just did this last week. I was trying, literally, I had like a 6 head. Like it literally was like this big.
You are such a middle school teacher. You just had a 6-finger forehead. My kids are constantly, this is TMI. My kids are like, Mom, you've got like a 5-finger forehead. Like you need to put some bangs on that thing. And I'm like,
where do you see yourself, Chelsea, headed? Where are you going to continue this YouTube growth? Are you in this for the long haul? Are you doing this for another 8 to 10 years?
Again, a very good question that I've been asking myself that a lot lately. I read a book, Kelly Jones, friend of mine from Royal Reflection, sent me a book, Dream It, Pin It, Live It.
Right.
And she sent it to me years ago. And of course, I had every ambition of reading it. I finally got around to buying the audio version of it and listening to it while I was detailing. And I highly encourage anybody who, if you like good audiobooks, check this book out. It really was about, and it's more of a Christian-based book, but it was talking about how a lot of people, wealthy people, successful people, they are that way because they have actually put their goals from thought to paper, and they work actively towards those goals. And it's similar to almost like manifestation, but it's just talking about how daily we should be writing out our goals for our lives. And it doesn't always have to be about work related. It could be relationships. It could be personal goals. But understanding, if I have this goal, am I willing to do what it costs to get to that goal? And it's really challenged me to kind of sit down and say, okay, like what? I've never really had goals with my business. I've never really had goals with YouTube. It's just always, God has just kind of opened doors and I've walked through them.
Yeah.
I would love to see my channel grow. I don't know if that's in the cards for me, because again, I don't know if I'm willing to do what it takes to get to that level, because I know that there's a cost. When you are fully 100% in on social media, it's consuming. And for those that do grow rapidly, it's because they're all in. Maybe they've given up their full-time jobs. I mean, we see those content creators out there. They're literally like their whole job is creating content. It's very rare that they have a 9-to-5 or families or all of those things. Sometimes they're divorced or single, because their life is literally that. So to say, yeah, I want to be at 100,000, I have no idea if I'm willing to do what it takes to get to that level. So for the channel to grow, I think that's kind of up to God. You know, I'm going to continue to put content out there when I can. I've given up the idea of feeding the algorithm consistently. I can't. It's too much to really sacrifice time with my family. My son is 13. He'll be 14 this year. And, I had a mom friend one time say, we only have how many summers with our kids? I have 3 summers, maybe 4 summers with my son before he goes to college. And there's a good chance he can never move back home once he goes to college. So for me, like, is it worth editing or spending time with him? Like, my kids are growing up so quickly. It has been fun. My son is working with me this summer.
That's
sometimes begrudgingly, but, just spending time with him. But, goals for my business, I think as long as there is a need for us financially for me to do it, I will do it.
Yeah.
I would love for my husband's business to grow so successfully that I could be a full-time stay-at-home mom. I'll be honest. If I had to put a dream to paper for my future, I would love to be a stay-at-home mom. I think that's one of the biggest privileges and jobs and opportunities. And I was that at one point, and I was so thankful for my husband for working his butt off to allow that to happen. We live in an expensive world, though. I couldn't stay that. I would love for his business to grow, that I could do that. But at the same time, I've learned a lot. I have a lot of experience in this industry. I've established a lot of friendships and relationships in this industry that I don't want to waste all of this experience and knowledge. So if God were to see fit for me to transition into a different avenue within the industry, I think I would be open to however God would do that. But to say that I'm intentionally seeking that, I'm just kind of waiting for God to open doors. It's kind of hard for me to have goals with this, because there's just when you're a mom, working from home, it's kind of, I have no goals to have a shop.
Yeah.
I have no goals to have employees other than my kids.
Yeah.
I get people all the time calling asking if I'm hiring, and I'm like, that'd be weird, you know, for them to be around my house and my kids and stuff like that. So it kind of has to be me. And I think physically, I don't know if I will be able to sustain this, you know, until I'm 60. It is very grueling.
Yeah. On the body, definitely.
It is. I mean, I was supposed to have a 2500 Duramax on Thursday to ceramic coat. And I was like, oh God, you know, they rescheduled, and I'm like, okay, I can breathe a little bit, because some of these vehicles are getting bigger.
Yeah.
They're getting harder to do with all the angles and
crevices and the lips
and I don't know about you, but like I'm starting to get arthritis in my hands.
Yeah.
It's not so much the carpal tunnel. I know some people from the vibrations. Mine is literally just, they lock up on me. I'll be polishing and my hand is literally like locked.
Yeah.
Vacuuming on it.
My knees do it.
Mine's my back. I'm almost 5'11". You know, I round up to like 6, but these smaller vehicles, they're brutal on my back. So physically, I will do this as long as God sustains me and as long as there's a need financially.
Nice.
But YouTube, you know, as long as I'm detailing, I'll probably always be doing YouTube, because why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
I enjoy it. And if I could make 2 forms of revenue off of one job, why not? No plans to get rid of me yet, guys.
Yes, no, we don't want Chelsea to go away. Definitely not.
I'm sure some people do, but hey.
No, the people always ask, if you had to choose 5 products that were your absolute go-tos, your favorite, can't live without them, what would they be?
Okay. Are we talking full detail, inside only, outside only?
I would say full detail.
I'm trying to think through all of the products in my shop, which ones I reach for the most. Eddie, you're going to love me. Superior Products, Dark Fury.
What does he call that stuff?
Chocolate Thunder.
Chocolate Thunder. No,
Car Candy has a Chocolate Thunder.
I was just going to say that. I just saw that on Car Candy, Chocolate Thunder.
I use that on every detail, for wheel wells, for door jams, for engines, for rubber mats, for road film, for bugs. Yes, it can stain. Yes, it is a really strong pH. Yes, I use it with flip-flops on and no gloves.
I was going to say, always in flip-flops. Me too in the summer. So.
I grew up in Florida. What else do you expect me to wear, Eddie? I mean, come on. Okay. Plus, I don't like getting my sneakers wet. I do have Vessies, thank God. But I don't like being hot. And if my feet are hot, I'm miserable. Yeah. So when I get hot detailing in the summer, I just literally pressure wash my feet. Yeah. From a distance, you know, but it at least keeps me cooler. Yeah. And when I'm doing interiors, I just kind of, you know, I'm careful not to get my feet, because that's kind of gross. You don't want to be barefoot in customers' cars, but that's the only downfall. So, Dark Fury, definitely. Okay. Shine Supply Wise Guy for tires and wheels. 1-to-1 dilution. Really enjoy that. Interiors, we're going to go with Bonnet Pro Rocket Revive It or Surround Citrus, either one of those, for cleaning carpets and seats and stuff like that. Honestly, Typhon for plastics, and let's see, Glass Cleaner, Peleus Panel Prep from Phoenix EOD, 1-to-1.
That's a good.
Those would be my kind of 5. Did I get 5?
Yeah, that is.
I didn't do a soap, because soap is soap. Soap is soap. I would use a soap, but honestly, like, people are like, we got this new soap. I'm like, it's a soap.
Yeah.
Unless you can find something fantastic about it.
Yeah.
Like, a soap is soap.
Do you prefer soap over Rinseless?
Yeah, I do. I like a good old contact wash. What's that?
Do you foam? Are you a foam cannon girl? Always foam cannon, always? Or
yeah. I mean, yeah, just to get as much dirt off as possible. And then maybe a little lubrication. If it's not too dirty, I'll foam it on, then use that soap to wash. Yeah. But if it's super dirty, I'll do a foaming pre-soak. I don't mind Rinseless. I really don't. I mean, I know you love Loki. I tried Loki. I do enjoy it if you're doing a clay towel. Yeah. But it does create a lot of foam if you're just doing a standard rinseless.
Yeah.
So I think really the best way to use that is if you're doing a clay towel treatment, like a rinseless wash clay and then a seal.
Yeah.
But it does leave a little bit more foam that you got to get off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I do enjoy a rinseless wash in the wintertime. It's the only thing I can do. I don't have a drain. I don't have running water inside.
Me either. Yeah.
I know Ivan says you can get around, you know, a dirty vehicle in 20 minutes. It does add time. When you're doing tires and wheels with a rinseless wash, it adds a good bit of time, like maybe an hour.
Yeah.
It can be done. It just, that's why like in the wintertime, if I have a choice between doing it outside, doing a foaming pre-soak, rinsing it, and then washing it, I can do that much faster and with better results and safer results than a rinseless on a really dirty snow-covered vehicle.
Do you have a detail keg?
I do.
Do you use it?
I do. I got one 2 years ago, and it does make a big difference. You know, like cleaning tires and wheels and stuff like that, blasting the dirt out.
Yeah.
But I have to have a wet dry vac to like suck up all the nastiness that comes out. And to me, it's just a lot of mess that I have to spend more time cleaning that up. Yeah. It's not a lot, but it's enough that I don't want to be stepping in that. I don't like, because when I'm doing interiors, I don't want puddles all around. And yes, I can mop, but again, I got to constantly be, no one's come up with a really good mop for a garage like mine. I have like that sand grit on the floor. So I use the shop mop, but you have to like take it off, wring it out, and you're still getting all that nastiness on your hands, or it gets stuck on the sand and it's like getting stuck. So there's definitely, I mean, where there's a will, there's a way. Yeah. But there's just something therapeutic. Like when you have to do rinseless washes all winter and you get to do that first good old contact wash in the spring.
I do agree with that.
There's nothing like that feeling. You're just like, I feel like Superman floating up to the sun, like,
yes, absolutely. Are there any products coming out or that have come out that you are just super excited to try that you haven't gotten your hands on yet, or that you have and you're ready to put it to work? Is there something that you are totally
honestly, like one of my, I talked about it in my ad in my video, and I'm gonna have him on my show in a little bit. Hot coat from Quiver, dude.
I haven't tried it yet.
So I haven't tried it dry. I've only tried it as like a spray on, rinse off. And I love me. I don't know about you. I'm a lazy detailer. And, you know, when you've vacuumed and scrubbed all the things and done a decon, especially on like Jeeps or trucks or larger vehicles where you're just kind of tired, the idea of having to take 20 to 30 minutes to spray, apply, buff off a sealant, it's not very appeasing.
Yeah.
And, you know, if I could take 20 to 30 minutes off of my required time, spray and rinse a product, I'm going to do it. But for me, durability is an issue. I need to test the durability on his spray and rinse. Yeah. But I've done like 3 vehicles with it. What I like about it, okay, this is what I'm getting at. Most of the spray and rinse products, they foam a little bit. Like you'll see kind of like a white residue when you rinse it off the vehicle. And you can see the product kind of being pushed over. But if you let those products sit too long, you get streaks and high spots, right?
Absolutely.
Glass and things like that. Now, you can get a little bit of that with the hot coat, but it comes off a lot easier than some of the other ones. But you literally like spray half the entire vehicle. It has to actually sit for like 30 seconds. At least that's what it says on the instructions. Yeah. And it doesn't do like insane beating, but it's just really nice gloss. And I don't have as much issues with streaking, especially on hot days like direct sun. I think he designed a lot of his products to be mobile sun friendly.
Yes. Yes.
And for all intents and purposes, I am in that environment. I'm not mobile, but I am in their environment outside in the sun.
Yeah, me too.
So I've really been enjoying that. I wish a little bit more of it would go a long way. Cause like I bought the larger bottle. Yeah. And I think I did 4 vehicles with that one bottle at the spray and rinse. I need to try it dry because obviously you're going to get more bang for your buck
when it's dry. Yeah.
But I'm lazy. So I just, So I bought a gallon of it because I love it so much. It smells like, do you remember the Kool-Aid, like the blue, like frosted?
I do know exactly what you're talking about.
It smells like what you would think that would
Nice.
Yeah. It smells really just
Yeah.
summery and just fun smelling. But I don't know. I've really been in like his foam cannon.
Yeah. Oh, I love
dude,
cannon.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the best ones that I mean, it's identical to the MJGC foam cannon V2.
Yes.
But I like the branding. I like the colors.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
Yeah.
I like the color blue. I mean,
too.
obviously, like everything behind me.
I love it too. In fact, today I'm going to go out. I haven't tried his soap yet. So that's what I'm going to do when we're done here.
I just have that coming. I'm going to do a video on that.
Yeah.
Actually, on the Thor channel, I think we're going to do a video review on the Rogue soap, the foam cannon, and hot coat.
Yeah. I'm excited. Are you intrigued or interested at all by his pressure washer? Because I think I might purchase it.
So again, you know, just the flashy new things.
Yeah.
When it comes to tools, I bought the Ryobi 1900 like a month before the Ryobi new automotive pressure washer came out because I had an AR Blue Clean 625. I spent almost $800 on that pressure washer. God, I regret it. That one I got influenced on. Someone said, you know, if you want to be a professional, got to buy a professional grade pressure washer. That thing weighs 49 pounds. 49 pounds. That's like my daughter, half of my daughter.
Yeah.
Every time I lifted it, I mean, there were times that I was like, oh, good, I'm getting a workout. But the pump died on me within a year and a half. And it's like $125, I think, to rebuild the kit. And I am not mechanical. I don't know about you.
No.
So I realized I think I'm more in the disposable pressure washer world versus a commercial grade one.
Yeah.
So I learned that about myself.
Yeah.
So because my AR broke, I went and bought that Ryobi 1900, which I've had for years. I loved it. Yeah. And then like a month later, the automotive pressure washer came out and I was like, do I buy it? And I did. Honestly, that was,
price, you couldn't really beat it, to be honest.
Dude. Well, I was mad because the 1900 was $50 less a month after. I was like,
what the heck? Yeah.
But honestly, I think it was a worthwhile investment. The automotive pressure washer is better than the 1900 in force, in just power. Like literally, if you're using their spray gun, it wants to push your hand back. Yeah. There's that much force behind it.
Yeah.
And it is more compact. I have like a little shelf that I can just put it easily up on. The thing's like, I think 8 pounds. Yeah. So going from 49 to 8, I'm like, it's like a little baby. Like I can just throw it all over the place. Yeah. It's so cute. No, I mean, and that pressure washer is working really great for me. Yeah. If someone wants to send me the pressure washer to review, certainly. But tools, things like that, unless mine break. Yeah. Unless it's the automotive pressure washer. I say what I say, and I hear that I'm not 100% honest with that. When it comes to pressure washers, I don't know. We'll have to see. If the price is right.
It's right. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm hoping that it is. I'm excited. I'm excited about it. I think it will be. I think it's going to be priced accordingly. I have
what would be priced accordingly for you? Like, what should a pressure washer run?
$350 at most.
At most
for me.
Like the active VE52 I bought when it came out. I think that was like $199. Yeah. And I had issues with that.
Biggest. I don't think I would purchase anything over that. I would like it to be cheaper. Again, just financially, that price and lower makes sense for me. Will it be around that price range? I don't know. It could be in the 600s. I have no idea, but I feel like he's trying to reach, your DIYer, your mobile. I don't know. I Josh, if you're listening.
I want it to be compact. I want it to be somewhat lightweight that it can go on a shelf. And I think if he's making it for mobile detailers, it will need to do both of those things.
I like the way that it can sit on a wall or hang on a wall vertically. That to me seems like space saving, just kind of efficient setup. With my garage is a mess right now, and I need organization. I don't have room for shelves and things. Ivan needs
to do a garage rehab on you.
I know. Oh, if I told Ivan if he came to my garage, he would literally turn around and walk away.
Well, didn't Jeff said that he would come to your garage and like help you?
I'm hoping he does. Jeff, if you're listening from Improved Garage, we do have a plan for him to come and help me kind of set things up. We had talked about when he did the California, tour recently. We had talked about him, stopping by. I unfortunately have an uncle who is, ill with cancer terminally. And we were supposed to be holding a reunion. We were getting all of the family together as kind of like a last, time to see everybody. And Ivan, that was like really the only time that Ivan, had where he could stop by, and then we didn't even get to have the reunion because literally my uncle was rushed into the, hospital and it got canceled and pushed back. So it was kind of a, sorry, I'll get emotional. It was kind of just a hard, instance. I wish it would have been under different circumstances when he was in California, where I would have had more of an opportunity. It was also like the last, week of school. Things were just hectic. So I was really upset because, man, to meet Ivan in person is a dream. I really respect that man 100%, 110%. He's just so awesome. He's been great. I don't know if I know you still talk to him and, but he's one of those ones that even today, I could call at any time and he's going to answer the phone. Like, I have a question, Ivan, and he is literally right there. And if he's not right there, I'll call you back in 10 minutes and I'll be golly. He calls you back in 10 minutes flat. Like it's, I love that.
Yeah. He's one of those people that is very selfless. He's always willing to, at the drop of a hat, help people.
Yeah.
He's been a huge support to me over the years.
Yeah.
There's still times like the 96 Corvette, I'm probably going to be calling him, be like, okay, what was your experience with carbon fiber? And I've only dealt with carbon fiber once in my life on a Corvette, and it almost brought me to tears.
Yeah.
So I have a little bit of...
In a good way or a bad way?
In a bad way. I have a little PTSD when it comes to carbon fiber. And I'm like, it's okay. You're a different person. You know a lot more now than you did then. Get through it. Because I remember the first time I had... it was a yellow Corvette. It was a 90s model. And I was trying to correct the back panel. And nothing I had was touching the dents or the scratches. And I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
And a friend of mine was like, yeah, that's carbon fiber for you. And I'm like, it hates me. Like I was hitting it with microfiber. And finally, Meguiar's has an MT300. They have their microfiber pad and their D300 compound, which I love the smell of it because it smells like cinnamon.
Don't be different compounds, Chelsea.
You don't smell the things that you're using?
I do. I really do.
My mom always has like cinnamon oil or like cinnamon candles burning. And so like when I use the Meguiar's compound, it like reminds me of my mom. I don't know why, but it's like home. I'm like, oh my gosh,
your cinnamon reminds you of candles and cinnamon reminds me of like Aftershock or Goldschlager. Isn't that funny? Have you ever had those?
I'm not a big drinker. I will say that. I know what you're talking about, but I've never had one.
That's so funny.
I'm literally the kind of girl that's drinking a Seagrams. So that's the extent. I don't like alcohol. When we were at the Creator Summit, dude, Carlos was Jaeger bomb and this and Jaeger bomb and then all the guys, like we would go down into the hotel lobby every evening and drink. And they're all drinking beers and different things. And they're like, Chelsea, let me get you, something to drink. And I'm like, if there's a Seagrams, I'll have it. They're like, seriously? What are you in college? Not a big drinker.
Are you going to SEMA? Are you planning on it?
It's the plan. We just got to make sure we can afford it. So
I hope to go. I just want to.
I want to meet you. I know we're chatting, but I wish that we would be able to do better as females within this industry. Like, I feel like there's beefs everywhere. Yeah. There's competition. There's all this rivalry between brands and different companies. Yeah. At the end of the day, like when I see females picking sides, there's times that I'm just like, we don't have the space for that. Like we just got to support one another. Yeah. There's not many of us. There's more than people realize. Yeah. But I wish there was a little bit more support for women to other women within this industry. I would love to see this industry be just flooded with passionate, knowledgeable, skills-worthy women.
Yeah.
They're out there. They just don't get the recognition. I feel like they're afraid to speak up.
Yeah.
Or show their face or show their capabilities because people will question. I don't know. Do you feel like that is the case?
I do feel like that. I feel like women in the industry or, putting yourself out on social media, it's a whole different ballgame, I think. And I hate to kind of pigeonhole women like that, because really we're all out here doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Women and men, we all have the same passion. We're all, at the end of the day, somewhat of the same goal, right? We want to clean cars. I don't feel like we should be so separate. And I feel like sometimes we do that on our own. We kind of
maybe we do. And maybe we read into it because we feel, I don't know, maybe that is the RSD.
Self-conscious thing. It's the women just, I think, have mentalities that are just, we think differently. I want to really just kind of progress and put myself just in the same playing field. Like I'm kind of over being so stuck on, thinking about women as such a separate entity. Like I feel like we just need to push and progress like the rest of them.
I just want to see it as the detailing industry, but I do feel like many people from outside of the industry and a few within see it as separate.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
I feel like it's mostly customers sometimes that make me feel that way.
I've had that.
I've only had it a couple of times from people within the industry, and they were kind of jerks to begin with, that I was like, your opinion doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah.
For the most part, I've had nothing but support. It's just there have been some times that maybe I'll be in an event and there's other female detailers there, and maybe I expect there to be that camaraderie, like a sisterhood.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe that's in my head.
Yeah.
That I don't feel like I get that. And I would love to see more of that.
Yeah. So on this here, what is one piece of advice that you could give to anybody in this industry, whether they are beginning, whether they are a professional and well-seasoned, whether they're in limbo like me, constantly trying to figure out where I'm going? What is something that you could give us on a positive note to help us on our journeys?
I might go a little deep here.
Okay.
And I always ask this question on my podcast, and I never really have an answer. So you're kind of putting me on the dot. But I was working on a car yesterday, and I kind of had an epiphany. I said earlier, my dad was a Marine, and he taught me to get down and look up. And I think in detailing in general, that's just a great piece of advice. Make sure you don't miss any of the details. Pay attention to the small things, because they may not necessarily matter to your customers, but as a whole, it's going to give you better results.
Yeah.
But I think in life, I'm getting to that point, 40 years of age, not 41 yet. I'm daily reminded that I need to get down and I need to look up. That a lot of what I do in life maybe isn't as big of a deal as sometimes I make it out to be.
Oh.
If I were to leave it at the throne or leave it at the feet of the Father. And oftentimes I try to fix things myself. My kids, my marriage, my work, social media. I try to push and see results, and sometimes they don't pan out the way that I want them to. And in reading this book that I've been reading, the Dream It, Pin It, Live It that I was talking about, really working on having set goals, putting them to paper. But it's more than just putting a goal on a piece of paper. It's then taking those goals before God and then having a spirit of gratefulness, anticipating that God is going to work. And it doesn't mean that we always get what we want. He's not like Santa Claus where we make a Christmas list and then we expect him to answer, because sometimes it doesn't happen in our timeline and sometimes it doesn't happen the way we want to.
Yeah.
And sometimes God changes us in the process that we end up kind of having a different heart and a different goal and a different outlook.
Yeah.
But when we have a mindset of actively working towards those goals, whether it be to be a better person, whatever you want to do it.
Yeah.
bringing those goals before the Father, and then anticipating that God's going to work, and then having better heart of gratitude and a contentment. And it can change your perspective. Because how many times do we walk around in life? And I feel like this is me preaching to myself here. Probably I am preaching. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. But we often walk around with just a spirit of discontentment. Why don't I have this? I wish I had that. I wish I had that. Instead of, thank you, God, for providing work for me today. Instead of saying, why do I have to clean another car? It's so hot. Thank you, God, for your provision in my life.
Yeah.
And just having that positive outlook, not only can it change your physical health, but it changes your mind, and it gives you a better outlook on life, and just develop a spirit of contentfulness and gratefulness. Yeah. And I think a lot of that can sometimes even go into these trends and social media and all of the influences and tugs that we feel to keep up, and just, that's one thing. I'm trying to develop more of a spirit of contentfulness and gratefulness, and just trusting God for my future and for my goals.
Yeah.
And trying to be more positive. Yeah. I've become a little cynical, a little negative these last few years. I don't want to blame it on COVID. I don't want to blame it on anybody. Maybe it's age. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's a very long-winded answer, I know. But I think for me, get down and look up.
Yeah.
Would be the advice I give. And just, sometimes let the little things go. Focus on the big picture, and just trust God for your future.
Yeah. I love that. That was a beautiful response. Thank you.
I don't know. God just put that on my heart yesterday as I was working, and I'm like, all right, God, like even in those moments, every time I detail, I hear in my head, my dad saying, get down and look up. And God just kind of gave me like a different meaning to that yesterday, that I was like, huh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I love that. Thank you.
I know I probably lost a lot of viewers, me going on that tangent.
No.
Hopefully that encouraged someone. So.
No, I appreciate that tangent. So thank you again for coming on. And definitely we need to sit down and talk about me getting on your podcast, because I feel like we still have so much that we could talk about.
This could be an ongoing conversation.
Absolutely. So
next time, let's just have coffee and we'll sit down and have.
I've had my coffee.
I mean, mine's tea, but.
But anyway, thank you again so much, Chelsea, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
I'm headed to the pool with my kids, but Kristi, thanks for having me on. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate that, because some days I'm a little skeptical of myself, cynical of myself. Like, you are amazing. And I mean, all of the people on Thor Media are really killing it. And sometimes it's a little intimidating. I'm not going to lie, because I'm like, dang, they're so good.
But again, don't focus on others. Just you do you.
That's exactly it. So
don't even watch other people's podcasts like I do, because I have. I'm a turtle over here. I'm just doing my thing. I don't even know if it's tracking, if people like it. If you do, that's great. If not, I'm enjoying the conversations I'm having with people. I'm having the conversations that I want to have with people in this industry. And you're doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. And for the viewers, if you have not subscribed to thehouseofrags.com, please do. We have a great lineup of podcasts on Thor Media. Thor is hitting home with all of these products, brands that they're bringing on, their microfibers. I mean, everything that they're doing is absolutely wonderful. So please, if you have not subscribed, please get on and subscribe. If you have not subscribed to Chelsea's channel, Attention to Details, please do. She is amazing. She brings amazing content, very educational. She is just a joy to watch, and you really are. I hope you know that, Chelsea. Please don't stop, because you're doing awesome.
What's your YouTube channel name? Because we got to get your subscribership up. Because I'm sure there are people that are watching over at the House of Rags, or even if any of my viewers are watching and they haven't subscribed to Kristi's, what's your YouTube handle, so that way they can...
I have it here on the screen, so it's at Details in Me, and I am a smaller channel, so you really do have to put in that capital N, capital M, and then E. But yes, please go give me a follow. It would help me out greatly. I appreciate that plug.
No, you deserve it. You deserve it. You make some great content. So,
thank you.
Anyways, I feel like it's my show. I'm not rapping.
No. That's okay. We can do it together. So thank you again, you guys, and have a great night.
Bye, guys.